You see, most times we hear this statement: children love their mothers more than their fathers, no matter what the father does. It's not true. If a father is deliberate enough to change that narrative, it will change. You see, children, when they are growing up, they have different focus when it comes to their different age range. A child that is still within the first year to the second year, their focus is simply food. Food. So in that period, their attention will tilt towards the mother more than the father, because the mother is the one that has the breast to breastfeed them. So it doesn't matter what the father does at that time, you can never win the child's attention as much as the mother can. So the best you can do is just be there to carry them, to pacify them. But the moment they need to eat, you will see how quick they will desire the mother's attention and not yours. So at that stage, you don't compete with that. There's nothing you can do. You can just only do what is available for you to do. But from that 2 years down to 5 years, their focus begin to change. They begin to tilt towards attention more, because now at that stage they can eat solid food and anybody can feed them. So they begin to seek attention more. This is where the fathers need to be deliberate, because if you are not around to give them that attention, whoever is around will take their hearts. So if the mothers are the ones that are around and the father is busy making money, at that stage, the child does not understand what you go through to provide for them. All the child wants is attention, and whoever gives that child attention wins the child's heart. So as a father, I know it might not be easy, but then you must always try to find a way to strike that balance and give that attention. Don't allow your child get used to every other person except you, and then you complain that the child does not love your presence. No, it is because the child doesn't really know you. You can see most fathers at that don't really give their children attention at that age. They just want to do it once in a while. When they pick up the child will start crying and wants to return back to those they are used to, because those are the ones that gave the child attention. So at that stage, what they need is attention. Now from 5 to 10, the child begins to develop relationship. They begin to know who's their close friends. They begin to have best friends in school. They begin to have among the siblings, they begin to know the ones that they like the most, the ones that they want to play with the most. And then this also plays out with the parents. If you as a dad don't play with your child a lot, don't form that bond with the child will tilt towards the mother as one that is better off when it comes to relationship that they can relate with. The child will not play with you because you are not available for them to build that bond with. So as a father, if you really want your child to find you interesting, then you must be creative in that aspect to form a relational bond with that child at that stage. Because the moment you do that, the child will always seek your presence, knowing that whenever the child runs towards you, he will find friendship, he will find a playmate. And so fathers at this stage must be deliberate to always open their arms and welcome their child and play with them. Don't just hold them and then you are busy doing something else. They will leave you. They will see that you are boring and go and find who else is available to play. And in most cases, it might be their mother or their siblings or their friends. So if you want your child at that stage from 5 to 10 to find you interesting, you must leave what you are doing and create that creative time to play with them. This is how they form that bond with you. But if you don't do this, I'm sorry, there's just no way you are going to win their hearts. Now, from that 10 to 15 or 18, what a child needs at that time is a level of understanding. The child begins to understand what being mean is and what being kind is. So every father must be careful at that age not to be too harsh on the child, because the child will begin to use that emotional aggression to divide you from the mother. At that stage, the child begins to know who is mean to him and who is kind to him. And if you are always harsh as a father, I know we have this desire to correct and make sure that they stay moral, but that doesn't mean that you should always be harsh, shouting at them, trying to inculcate discipline with force. If you keep doing that, the child will lose interest to be around you, and they will go and find whoever it is that can be kind to them, can be understanding, can be gentle. So you and your wife, for every man listening to this, you and your wife must find a way to agree to strike a balance on how to make sure that there is no good cop, bad cop, but both are there to make sure the child grows up in an atmosphere of love and discipline. So every man at this stage must learn to know that you can lose your child's attention if you are too harsh. I'm teaching you how we men will lose we lose the power to win our child's heart, and then we end up thinking that the wife turned their children against them. It's not always like that. It's because we don't understand how their focus shifts per age. Now, most wives don't even know this, but in Africa or around the world, women really don't have a choice than to be there for their child. So they automatically by default pass all these stages. They have A because they know they must do it. But a man feels that it's not his responsibility to nurture the child as much as the mother. So they can easily find an excuse and leave. But you see, all these things later will come around to play against us. So we must pay attention to this age range and do what we need to do. Now, when the child goes from 18 down to 2023, their focus also changes. What begins to happen here is that they begin to focus on how you treat the people that they love. The people that they love. That's why when a father begins to beat their siblings, you see them not happy because they love their siblings. When a father begins to chase away their friends, that go, my child, you're not going out today to be with your friends, they are not happy because they see the way you treat them. When a father begins to treat their mother anyhow, and the child, at least they can read, they can tell the difference between fake love, and they can tell what is happening in the family at this stage, they will not be happy with you. And at this stage, the moment you fail this stage, it will be hard for you to recover. So please, when a child gets to that stage of 18 to 23, we must be careful how we handle those they value, because it will contribute to how they see you or how they treat you or how they perceive you, especially their mother. Like I said, the mothers are always there. So the mother automatically becomes one of their best people, except the father is really deliberate to always be there too. If you're always there, you also be one of their best people. So please try your best to understand these phases of a child's growth, and then be deliberate in handling these phases with wisdom. If you do that, you will not have any cause to say, my children don't love me, children tilt towards their mothers more. I've seen families where the children love the father even more than the mother, because the father was deliberate in all these things. But if you don't do it, sir, you can't blame your children, you can't blame your wife. Your wife was just being a loving mother, and she cannot play her role and play your role for you. So you must play your role if you must maintain a steady atmosphere of appreciation from your children.